How we doing? Good. Did any of you come from the city at all? You did? Who got caught on the train? Because that was not. I think you did. Not too long? My train was canceled.
Really?
Yeah, and thanks God I took the earlier train because otherwise I would have not made it. Oh, that's FaceTime, you guys. So here's the vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright guys, welcome to AMP. Most of you know who I am. My name is Jeff, one of the trainers here at AMP. The first order of business, I just want to make sure everybody has their packet. Everybody put up their packet right now. Got your packet, got your packet, got your notes, so they got their packet. Alright, good. Pretty much what we're doing today is we're just going over meal prepping, the basics of how to meal prep, how to portion, what kind of seasonings you can put in the meal prep, how to actually cook the food, and how to literally actually measure it itself. The lovely lady next to my side here, my fiance Allie.
She's real.
Yeah, she's real. She is real. Yeah. She's currently at NYU to study be a registered dietitian. She knows a lot about the food and all the basics and the science of it. So if you guys do have any questions during the presentation, feel free to ask and let's go right on number. Okay?
Yeah, I love questions because I ask a lot of them. Like you said, I am getting my master's in clinical nutrition at NYU. I'm in grad school. I developed the nutrition education program, and I'm the head instructor for the New York Cares program and Xavier mission. I also help the diabetes prevention program at Mount Sinai, Beth Israel in the city, and I also help on the dietetics department in New York Presbyterian. So I'm not a dietitian yet, but I can be helpful to you, hopefully, in your questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. If it's too crazy or out of my scope, I'll let you know that too, but I'll try to help you here. So I know that, who was here last session? For Lisa's. Adam was here. Okay, good. You guys, okay. All right, and I know you guys touched upon how Lisa changed her life on thinking about food, and that's a major factor in making your lifestyle change, because the difference between a diet and a lifestyle is actually a diet is you change what you eat, but a lifestyle is you change the way you think of what you eat. So that's what Lisa did, and she realized what her motivation was, what her goal was, and she went after it. Now, I know some of you guys talked about meal prepping that day, and I heard that a lot of people started meal prepping after that day. Who was meal prepping before that session? Just to show of hands. You don't have to answer. I'm not putting anybody else before. Okay. So who was meal prepping after that session? Well, including. And I said, okay. Who is still meal prepping after that session? Okay. This looks like a lot more than the other two, but okay. Okay, great. So now, that's great that you guys took the initiative of meal prepping. I know a lot of people get the idea of, the phrase meal prepping, they get a little intimidating. You picture like a bodybuilder behind a stove and mixing up a lot of things, and you see like the Instagram girls like prepping, and that's what meal prep has become, kind of like a phrase that everybody's familiar with. It just means cooking your food. So we want to break it down into basics, into what exactly goes into meal prep, what are some of the foods that you need to look for, and what are some of the healthy alternatives that you can use to build a healthy meal. So into that, we can talk about the 5 easy steps. I made these up, but if you want to use these as a guide, I'll say them. I know this is small, so I'm going to be like all around the place. But the first thing you need to do in order to meal prep is shop. So we're not going to go into that too much today on how to shop for your food, but what you do need to know is the first thing to do that is you have to plan it. You have to make a list. Because believe it or not, even though you go to the store and you're like, oh yeah, I know what I want, I want chicken, I want vegetables, I have it all in my head. Guess what? You go into the store and all the marketing will sway you all the way around, and you'll be like, oh, the Entenmann's cookies. Oh, that sounds great. Let me get that. And you're actually swayed by these marketers and these companies more than you know, so it's better to stay with the list in which you make. Now, what to put on that list? That's what we're going to go into. And we're going to talk about a lot of different types of foods. Probably all the foods that you guys like. And what we do want to reduce is the processed foods. So everything I'm going to talk about is going to be the least processed possible, because when you take a processed food, it has a lot of salt, it has a lot of sugar, and it has a lot of fat. Why? Because it tastes good, and it also preserves the food. And when it preserves the food, it increases the shelf volume, which means they can last longer and the companies can make more money. So you want to go for the unprocessed, more wholesome foods possible, and then take it from there into cooking what you want to do with it. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's in the beginning, but okay, good. The next thing you want to do is you want to cook your food. And we're going to talk about how to different types of prep and saute and steam, and any questions you have on that. I know you have a lot of questions on prepping. The third thing you want to do is measure. We are going to talk about what a plate should look like and what you should put on that plate and measure it out into building the most healthy meal possible. Now the fourth thing you have to do is store it. So once you're done, you build your plates, you put them in containers. You don't even have to get the fancy, crazy, go to the container store, buy $20 for a lid. No, like you don't have to do that. You can just get the basic stuff, and you can mix and match and like do whatever you want. Put them in the fridge or the freezer, and it'll be stored away. We could talk about like how long it takes and everything like that for something to go bad. And the last step, you have to eat it. Okay, so those are the 5 steps. So now we're going to draw a plate, and we're going to go into what your plates look like. So when someone, I'm going to have to like erase and everything. So when someone asks you what you had for dinner last night, what's like the first thing that comes to mind? Like, what did you have for, not you because you're prepping, what did you have for dinner last night? You don't even have to say last night. Like, if you remember.
Usually might be like chicken.
Okay, right. So chicken. So usually people, when someone asks what they had for dinner last night, they start with an animal-based protein. Who usually eats an animal-based protein for dinner, for meals? Okay. We have any vegetarians in the house? Any vegan? Okay. All right. This is good. All right. No, nothing against vegetarians or vegans. So this is all, it's a consistent group. It's good. Okay, so you usually say an animal-based protein first. Why? Because it's usually the biggest part of your plate, right? Is that right for the most part? So, okay, so let's draw chicken over here. Okay, you don't have to do this, but I'm just saying. Okay, is this? I didn't go to art school, all right? This chicken. Does it look like chicken? It's good, right? I have to take a couple art classes. Alright, so now this is your chicken on the plate. Like, think of your animal-based protein. Think of your steak. Think of your burgers. Think of your, what else? Like fish or turkey or anything. Usually, does it look like that? Like, does it take a whole, like, does it take that much space on your plate?
Majority of plate.
Huh?
I think we could all agree it's the majority.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so now what? Then what else do you have on the plate? You usually have starch, like maybe with pasta or like rice. Okay, so rice. How much of your plate do you think you fill the rice with? Like
Maybe small.
maybe smaller? Okay. So let's just do it like this. Okay. I'm getting to a point here, okay? I'm getting to a point. Am I going like good pace? Yeah, okay. Let me know, Okay. Then what else goes on your plate? Oh, good. This is a good group. This is nice. Okay, so veggies. So how much veggies do you usually put on your plate?
I put a lot.
Yeah? Well, then I just walk out the door now. That's my job. Okay. So we do a lot. Okay, that's the goal here. Okay, so now, this is what your plate looks like now. Okay, we got the chicken, we got the veggies, and we got the rice. That's not what it should look like, actually. So we're going to have to erase. Okay. So now, I hope this thing doesn't fall. So now, when someone asks you what you had for dinner last night, instead of saying chicken, or a hamburger, or turkey with something, or steak with potatoes, you're going to actually start with your vegetables. You're going to say cucumber and lettuce and tomatoes and Brussels sprouts with a side of chicken or with a side of rice. Okay, so that is your main thing. So you will see on your sheets there that I printed out. Chef Jeff put them together. Yeah. So just a little background on that sheet that shows it's called a My Plate. There is a guideline from the federal government that looks very similar to that plate. However, they add a glass of dairy to every meal, and there's reasons behind that I don't really necessarily agree with, nor do many dietitians. So I went with the My Plate from Harvard Medical School, which is more accurate to what you should be following. Let's just put it that way. It's very minor change. So now on that plate, what do you see? How much of the plate do fruits and vegetables take up? Half, exactly. So we're going to talk about all of your different types of fruits and vegetables that you like, and let's break it down. Okay, so we got vegetables here, and we got fruits. Okay, now we're just talking about like lunch and dinner right now. We don't usually eat fruits with the meal, do we? No. Unless it's tomatoes. Tomatoes is actually a fruit. So fruits, you can actually move to the side and have it as a snack. Or, you know, like maybe like right before you go to bed or anything like that. Or you could just move it toward your breakfast or anything like that. So you don't have to have it on your meal, on your lunch or dinner meal. You can just move the fruits to another snack or something like that. So let's just focus on vegetables. So, guys, tell me what kind of vegetables you eat. Broccoli. Broccoli. Good. Okay. Broccoli. Spinach.
Asparagus.
Oh, asparagus. Peas. Okay. So peas, this is a good one. Peas is a good one, but I am going to put a little dot here because this is a special vegetable. This is special, yeah, special. Okay. What else? Give me more. I want more. String beans. Okay. Carrots?
Yeah.
Did someone say carrots? Okay, carrots. Good. What's the difference between carrots and the rest of these?
It's a root vegetable.
Okay. Think of it more basic.
The color.
The color, yes. We have like PhD students in this. They said, okay, the colors. Now, the goal for your vegetables. First, the goal is to actually have your plate half full of vegetables. The second goal is to make it a variety. And the way to make it a variety is to think about the colors of the rainbow. So we can do that. We can think of red vegetables.
Peppers.
Peppers, red peppers, yes, that's great. What else? Beets. Ooh, beets are good. Squash, okay, squash would be, yeah, it is different colors. It's orange, okay. Let's do orange. Okay, carrots and squash, what else?
Orange peppers.
Okay, here is a fun fact about orange vegetables. Do you guys know what it is? Okay, yeah, yes, beta carotene. And what is it good for? Does anybody know? Your vision, right? Beta carotene converts into vitamin A, which is great for your vision. So it has a lot of vitamins. And if you think about it, carrots, beta carotene, you'll put it together. So anytime you see a bright orange vegetable, you know, sweet potato, that's another one actually, think of your vision. So now, another thing is, in order to get a variety, the reason why we do get a variety is because vegetables are really, really abundant in nutrients and vitamins. There is a ton of vitamins in one group, and there's a ton of vitamins in another, and there's a ton of vitamins in another. So if you get a variety, you get all the vitamins all together. And another thing about vegetables is that the calorie count is not that much at all. So you can be eating a lot of it, and you won't be getting that many calories. You'll be getting the nutrients, you'll be getting the minerals, you'll be getting all that good stuff, and you won't be gaining weight because of the vegetable. And it also has fiber. Does anybody know why fiber is good? Keeps you regular, right? It moves it going. I would say fiber are like the crossing guards of your gut. Like, you know, it's traffic, and if you don't have crossing guards, it's like chaos. So yeah, so the way I view fiber is you gotta have fiber in your diet. They regulate everything. They move the traffic along because you know what? If there's no fiber, if there's no crossing guards, the traffic ends up in the Lincoln Tunnel, and you don't want to go there. And the Lincoln Tunnel is actually a metaphor for your vessels, your artery vessels. So if you think of it like that, it's good. You don't want to end up in the Lincoln Tunnel. Okay, next. So let's do yellow vegetables. What else? Yellow. Anybody? Okay, corn. Corn is a special vegetable. Yes, corn is a special vegetable. Yes, we could do that. Okay, zucchini, right? Okay. Okay. What else? Anything yellow? Cauliflower. Yeah, cauliflower. Okay, did anybody ever hear of mashed cauliflower?
Yes.
Instead of mashed potatoes? Who can tell me how to make it? Now we're going to discuss a lot of things because I don't know as many recipes as everybody in this room. Tell us, Heather.
Boil it, mash it, add salt and pepper.
Okay. There you go. And does it taste like mashed potatoes?
Consistency-wise, yeah.
A good
Yeah,
substitute,
good
you would say?
substitute.
Okay, so that's a good. And please, I want you guys to share your recipes. I want you guys to like discuss amongst everybody what you usually do, like what you do with these vegetables. That would be great. What else? Okay, so let's keep going, guys. Onions. Okay, onions are great for cardiovascular health, actually, and that is okay. Cucumbers. Okay. No. Just the corn is special, and the peas are special. The peas are special. Corn. Eggplant. What color is that? Purple. Good. Yeah. Okay, so eggplant. See, guys, it is easy. You just have to put it together. Okay. Who can tell me how they cook their broccoli and spinach and like? Oh, what do you guys usually do when you cook these vegetables? I just want to get an idea. You steam them? Do you like to steam? Yeah. Saute. That's a good one. What was that?
Broccoli, cold. I serve it cold.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is great. This is great. Okay, what else? You bake it. Okay, how do you bake it? What do you do?
Salt, pepper, olive oil.
And you bake it on a pan and stuff. Okay, great. Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, who can tell me? Now you can saute. What about this side? Did you guys have something? I'm sorry, I neglected this
I
side.
was going to say the Brussels sprouts. I steam them first, but then I brown them on the pan so that they're crunchy.
Oh, okay. Wow.
With like sea salt and pepper.
With sea salt and pepper. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is great. You guys do know how to cook and do this. Okay. So do you guys know what the difference between sautéing and steaming and frying is? Yeah. Oil. Right. So now I think I heard on the last class somebody ask something about oil. Olive oil is great for you. Absolutely. Olive oil is great for you. The difference between having a tablespoon of oil and 10 tablespoons of oil makes a big difference, though. It's a healthy fat, just like avocado, walnuts, all this good stuff, almonds. Those are great things. Yes, questions? Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you.
It's yours to me because I've never had it. Actually, Mom just has been the coconut oil. Like I like cheese oil, but that's my own skin. I've never cooked with it. I actually have one separate that I have to cook with, but I've never actually cooked with it. I don't know.
Here's my take on coconut oil. It's a big fad, I think. It does have good unsaturated fats, which is the good part of the fats. However, coconut oil is very, very abundant in saturated fats, which is the bad fat. So personally, I don't think it's all that it is made out to be, because saturated fat. Do you guys know the 4 different types of fats? Saturated fat, trans fat, mono and polyunsaturated. Okay, great. Trans fat and saturated fat you really don't want to get a lot of because it's bad for your cardiovascular health. And coconut oil, unfortunately, is very high in saturated fat. So that's my take on it. I mean, if you use it on your skin, like I'm not a dermatologist.
Sometimes I'm going to usually
great for that. I did. You know, it's totally up to you, but I don't think it's a better alternative to olive oil or flaxseed oil. We use flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil is great. Flaxseed oil actually has a lot of omega-3s. Do you guys know what omega-3s is? Okay. The more omega-3s that you get, the better. Well, I don't want to say that, but omega-3s are very, very good for your cardiovascular health as well. So flaxseed oil, if you sprinkle it on your salad or on your vegetables over here, you get like a little teaspoon, you're good. You're good to go. No, you don't want to do that. Yeah, because now this is where I'm going to go. So the difference between sauteing and frying, sauteing is perfectly fine. You don't have to steam your vegetables to be a healthy person. Like you really don't. Like it's great to do because you don't get the extra fat with it, and if you want to reduce your calories. But you could be fine with sauteing your vegetables, throwing some lemon juice on it, throwing some spices. You don't want to do condiments, which we'll get into later. But that's perfectly fine. So now the difference between so I'm Italian and I don't like to measure things. I don't know about you guys. So this is what it looks like when I do my saute pan. See? Goes in here. See, it's not covering the entire bottom of the pan. Okay, it's like dripping. Alright, so this is sauteing. I'm gonna bring it over here. See it? Alright, so it's not covering the bottom of the pan totally. When it covers the bottom of the pan totally, you start to fry it. And when you start to fry the food, you're getting more oil than needed. And you're getting more calories than needed. So you want to keep in mind that if you're going to saute your vegetables, your broccoli, your asparagus, not the peas, they're special, your red peppers, your onions, do the whole thing with some spices, you want to keep the oil to this amount of the pan. Does that make sense? Is that good? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with sauteing. A little oil is great for you, but you just don't want to have too much. Yes.
I find a lot of the coconut oil, the olive oil spray oil.
Good question. Okay, so the sprays I'm not really for because a lot of the time I've seen sprays that they hide trans fat in it. So the reason why they hide well, I don't know why they hide trans fat, but it's just I've seen ingredients where it says the word hydrogenated. We could talk about this at a later date, but they have the word hydrogenated, which means it does have trans fat. And the thing when you spray, like if you look at the serving size and you spray on, you end up like the serving size says a quarter of a spray. What's a quarter of a spray? What's a quarter of a spray? No, you end up like spraying the whole plant and like you spray and keep spraying. Guess what? That's like 20 quarter of a sprays, and you end up getting a lot more than you bargained for. And you're not getting olive oil, you're getting hydrogenated oils, which is trans fat, and you don't want the trans fat because that's a bad fat, and that's a bad fat that you don't want. So that's my take on the sprays. Now they've gotten smart where they're actually making olive oil based sprays. Just get olive oil. Just get it out. Yeah, that's my thing. Yes.
Putting olive oil in the mister.
In a,
They have the misters where you're just putting the olive oil in and it's like.
that's fine. Is it just olive? I never heard of that. That's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never seen that. So you put it in a mister and you just spray it.
Exactly.
That's
So
fine.
Yeah.
Now the same concept. You want to spray it, but you don't want to continue spraying it where it's like covering the whole pan and it becomes very deep where you're ending up frying it. That's the only thing. Olive oil is fine. Canola oil. All that. Those are great oils that you can cook your vegetables with. Like I said, just keep it to a saute, not a fry. There's a big difference between the calories. How else do you guys make your vegetables? And steaming is fine. If you like steaming, yes, absolutely. Do it up. Bake them in the oven. Okay, so. Okay, grill them on the barbecue. Okay, so you roast it, yeah. You can broil it, you can cut them up and make them into strips and you can boil it. The other thing I wanted to touch upon, which we probably will touch upon maybe later, but does anybody I don't know if I want to touch on it now. Who likes ketchup? Or who likes barbecue sauce? Who likes like dressings and stuff? Do you guys use any other condiments on the vegetables at all, or is it mostly spices? Talk to me. Hot sauce. Okay, hot sauce is good actually. I'm not against hot sauce. Soy sauce? Who said soy sauce? Sriracha? Wow, okay. Alright, so we don't have to talk about the condiments yet because you guys are okay. So, are you guys comfortable that the fact of the matter is you want to get half your plate with vegetables and fruits? Does that make sense? Yes.
I understand my corn special. Can you explain my pizza special before I get
Yes, I will. I'm getting there. Yes, I will. Thank you. Yeah, and there was one more special one. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I forgot. Potatoes. Yes. That's it. Okay, so vegetable. Let's put potatoes in there, and that is absolutely. So that is a special one, too. Yeah, let's do squash. Okay, squash is not special. It's already on there. Okay, what about sweet potatoes, guys? You guys forgot sweet potatoes? Did we put it on there?
What's the difference between sweet potato and yams?
Oh, good question. Does anybody know?
One's good, one's bad.
Do you know which one? You know?
Aren't yams from Africa and they're actually brown and tough and white on the inside? And sweet potatoes are the orange ones that you find in the store?
Right, yeah, very close. So, long story short, long time ago, a supermarket got a case of sweet potatoes. Then they got another case of sweet potatoes, but they were softer, and they didn't really know how to differentiate between the two, so they called one yams. Meanwhile, yams are actually the root vegetable from Africa. Totally different from sweet potatoes, but they're actually white on the inside, and they have like purple, like almost like a purplish tint, and I want to say their nutrient intake is probably similar to potatoes. You really won't see yams unless you go like somewhere really ethnic or somewhere far away from here. You really won't see a yam. Usually they're sweet potatoes, but the supermarkets they end up Yeah, and sweet potatoes are great. Sweet potatoes are orange, which means yes. Okay, great. Sweet potatoes are great. They are not a special one. So let's go on to the next thing. Remember we talk about fruits? No.
Can I ask a question about
Yes.
vegetables? So what about frozen versus
Good
I
question.
do a lot of frozen broccoli. It's easy to put in your
Right.
meal prep and
Frozen is perfect. Frozen is great. Now, I always say stay away from frozen products. Stay away from products with packages. Stay away from bags. Like anything in the middle of the supermarket, stay away from. But frozen for vegetables is great because they don't have any additives in it. They just freeze the vegetables. And you could do it on your own. If you go to the supermarket and you see the produce section that's on sale or anything like that, then take those vegetables, chop them up, put them in the freezer. There's your frozen vegetables. You can absolutely do that. Yes, perfect. We usually do, well, I don't know how to frozen vegetables are great.
I do mostly frozen. Buy a bag of frozen, leave it in the freezer, combine them both, nice and eat them, stick them up, done. Very simple, very easy.
not going to season, not going like
Right, yes, because they have the frozen vegetables with like the cream sauce and the cheese and who loves cheese in here? Yes. Canned vegetables are another thing. Now, generally I would say frozen and fresh are not are better than canned because canned they usually put a lot of sodium in it to preserve it. So maybe I can put that on here because the processed stuff have a lot of salt. And please, if you guys can't see this, like I'll pick it up and like show it to you. Or Jeff will do it. Salt, sugar, and fat, okay? So that's in canned products, that's in packaged products, that's in frozen products because they want to preserve the food and they want to make it yummy for everybody else. So canned, if you really want to go for canned, go for the low sodium one. There's always a low sodium option, right? Can you guys see? Is this good? Okay. Yeah, they're good. Yes. Okay, so organic is a fun word because they do charge you more. It's a touchy subject. It's not really regulated. That's the thing. There's a lot of lobbying going around where there's bigger companies that can afford to pay more to have that label. This is being recorded, so hopefully I get a job after this. It's true. So yeah, there's a lot of say where if you pay, like the USDA, they'll give you a certain label. That's what I view it as. You know, in a lot of, especially preservative products and things like that. You do want to go organic with some vegetables, some fruits. I would say the produce and the meats if you can. But the general idea, first and foremost, is to first switch your food intake. Switch it from hamburgers and French fries to turkey, and then maybe the next step after that, we could worry about the organic thing. But it is a touchy subject. It's up to you. Eat organic. That's great. I personally don't really pay too much attention to it. But yeah, there is definitely with animal poultry and meats and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Pay more attention to that organic, the fat than anything else, because it does make a difference. But there also is some stuff in the background that people don't know about. So, what else? Any other questions? Mushrooms, yes! Who loves mushrooms? Mushrooms, yeah! Here's a fun fact. Who here is, well, you don't have to say it, but I know a lot of you are, because almost everybody is deficient in vitamin D. A lot of people are deficient. So everybody is deficient in vitamin D. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. There's not many products out there that are sold naturally that are natural in vitamin D, but fun fact is shiitake mushrooms. If they're sun-dried shiitake mushrooms, they have vitamin D in it. Fun fact. And mushrooms are great, have a lot of fiber, and it also regulates your blood sugar. Especially if you have someone that you know who has diabetes, or if you have diabetes, you do want to pay attention to your vegetable intake. Diabetes is kind of my thing, so if you guys want to stay after any questions you have, I'll try to help out here. So, then.
Mushrooms are very good with eggs.
Eggs, yeah. What else we got here? Anybody think of anything else on the vegetables? Celery. Lettuce. Lettuce. Yeah, lettuce. Okay, we can do lettuce. Okay, lettuce. Yeah, lettuce is a good one. And then we got celery. That's good. Okay. Huh? Oh, yeah, the special one. Oh, I'm sorry. Potatoes, corn, and peas. Okay. Garlic? Yes, garlic is great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's like in the vegetable group. It's like a, we really go into the species, but no, it's a vegetable. It's great. Okay, so frozen is great. Everything is okay. You guys are good on the vegetables. Eat your vegetables. Absolutely, 100% eat your vegetables. Prep them, put them in the freezer, make a lot of them. Jeff takes up the entire kitchen with vegetables everywhere. I see spinach everywhere. And he moves around. Kale's great. Kale is great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody's kale is a thing. Spinach is just as great. Dark leafy greens are just as great. Dark leafy greens are good for your legumes. Over there, we're gonna talk about that. Legumes, yeah, they're more. Yeah, they're in the vegetables and fruits, but they're more on a starch side. Okay, so next, let's talk about protein. Can we talk about protein a little bit? What are you on that? Not after the vegetables. So, are those head vegetables?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you said you're cutting them up. I usually, just for simplicity, you chop it up and put it in the freezer. But to retain the most nutrient intake, I want to say do it whole. But it's feasible. You can absolutely chop it up, put it in a Ziploc bag, and put it in the freezer. Yeah. Cook it, yeah. Yeah, it kind of loses its formation. It loses a couple of nutrients. It gets a little soggy. You kind of work with it. It's better to do it raw, to freeze it raw, and you're okay. Okay, so protein. Guys, what do you have? Chicken. What do you usually have? Chicken. Okay, chicken is great. Now, we're going to talk about lean protein. Okay, we're good. Okay. Okay, chicken. Okay, now, Steak, okay.
No, we'll go to that.
Do you know what's the best version of steak? And okay, so now to meal prep. If you're really like have a goal in mind and you're gonna meal prep, the best choices are to stay away from beef, because they're not considered a lean protein. If you really want a steak, the best top sirloin. Yeah, top sirloin. I know there's so many different. I'm just imagining the part of the cow that went going like this. Yeah, top sirloin right here. So now that's a special. Like I don't want to say special, but no, like you don't want to have that as your first protein choice. You want to go for lean choices. You want to go for chicken. You want to go for turkey. Okay, good. What else? Give me more. Pork. Okay, now pork is what? The other white meat. No. Pork tenderloin. Not pork chops, not pork shoulder. Those are all fatty. We're going to talk about pork tenderloin. Now please share your recipes. Share how you prepare these. Shrimp, yes.
Thank you.
What else?
Beans.
Okay, yes, beans. Now beans are not animal based, but yes, beans are great. Not the beans that are canned or the big beans with a lot of salt and fat added to it. Lentils, okay. What was that, chickpeas? Yeah. Chickpeas is great. Now, chickpeas, yes. Eggs. Was it fish? Salmon, yes, good. Yes? What do you have? Canned beef. So yeah, the thing is if you rinse them, you'll get rid of some of the sodium. Canned beans are going to have a lot of sodium. You can get rid of some of the sodium, but not all of it. It's still an alternative. You know, it's an alternative to baked beans. It's a better alternative, but I wouldn't say it's the best alternative. Because then you can, yeah. Explain. You can, yeah. It's just the convenience of beans is like a big thing. Alright, so yeah, no, chickpeas, beans, yeah, the best way to do, yeah, Carolina, share. You want to share? No? Okay. Did you talk about beans? Okay, so yeah, beans, you don't want to get them baked, you do want to get them dry. If you can't get it dry, get it canned to low sodium. You know, there's always an alternative to anything. You don't have to just fully omit something from your diet just because it's bad for you, it's not the best. You can just kind of work with it and see how you can make it healthier. What else? Okay, so salmon, fish, eggs. Who here has burgers? Ground beef. Oh, where was that? Where was that answer when I answered? Wow, okay, now. Turkey burger, okay, yes. Turkey burger is, Jeff, why don't you explain how you make your turkey burger?
I take about half a pound of meat and put it right on the pan. So a little olive oil. Ground turkey. Wrap it up, put it right in the pan. You flip once. That's the secret. Meat or steak, you flip it once. Okay, that's key.
But not steak here.
What? Not steak. Okay, I'm sorry, I decided not to steak. Pretty much just the turkey. Throw it on the pan. Throw a little olive oil on the pan. Put it right on the stove top. Grill. Season it with a little. I like to use a little bit of garlic, a little garlic and herb. It gives it a little flavor.
Spices.
Spices to it, and you just wait. Turkey burgers, you gotta make sure you cook it all the way though. That's the tricky part. And then a lot of times you might at first overcook it, but you also want to add another fruit into it, like a sweet potato. And so you have the whole thing. So I do a little sweet potato on my turkey burger, give it a little extra kick with it, so it's not so dried out. But first, when I started cooking them, they started to dry out just a little bit, and then the rest of the time that they were cooking, they were done good.
Now, when you say
Yeah,
This is a new thing.
Yeah,
He made this up. I've never seen this before. He takes a turkey burger and he takes a half the sweet potato and just smashes it on with some applesauce and mushrooms and spinach. The thing is like up to here, and I'm like, this is a good idea, but wow.
And so one thing I love about cooking with food is you can try anything. You can literally try anything.
You can be the chef of the future.
Literally, it's just a big sweet potato. Make sure it's soft enough. Put it right on top. Just squish it. Cool. A little applesauce and a little hot sauce.
taking turkey with egg whites and crush like peppers, like really to a liquid form. And yeah,
you definitely want to get ground turkey breast, which usually they do make it like that. And you'll usually see ground turkey. It says like 97% lean. You do like for lean meats, especially ground meats. You want to go for something that's at 97% or above lean. You don't want to get ground meat. It has a lot of fat in it. I don't care what they say. And it's not from one cow. It's from 1,000 cows. And it does have a lot. So you want to, if you're going to meal prep, if you're going to set your goals, like Lisa said, you need to like figure out what you want to put in your meals. I'm not saying take out ground beef forever. No, that's not a lifestyle. But you know, have it on certain occasions, or if you know that it has a ton of saturated fat, maybe you won't think of it like that. You won't want it as bad. It'll kind of, you know, it'll work with you. What else? What else? Anything? Fish. How do you guys make your fish? Baked. Okay, what do you put on it?
Lemon juice.
Lemon. Do you marinate anything? The chicken? Do you marinate your chicken? Okay. You bake it with an orange. Okay, great. Here's a fun fact. You guys know that animal-based proteins have iron in them, right? When you eat iron with a vitamin C friend, if you have oranges with it, it actually absorbs the iron better. I love my little facts. Even with spinach, you know, spinach has iron. If you're a vegetarian, I was going to touch on this if anybody was vegetarian, but nobody's vegetarian. I was going to touch on that spinach has iron in it, and it's actually best absorbed in your body when you sprinkle a little lemon juice on it. Iron and vitamin C, both together. Friends. Okay, what else? What else, guys? What else? Any more? Turkey. How do you make your turkey? No, talk about turkey. Fish? Okay, let's go into it. The lemon, and you bake it, or you bake it like that, or you steam it. Sometimes carrots. Oh, okay. Did you guys hear that? She bakes it in parchment paper, and you steam it. With vegetables. Great, with vegetables, so you have vegetables. Okay, great, yeah, that's perfect. Now, keep in mind, your protein, your lean protein, you'll have a ditto over there that has the serving sizes, but you do want to keep the meat like the size of the palm of your hand. You know, not everybody, only some people walk around with scales. So, yeah, so you're not going to measure things on an everyday basis. It's not feasible. You're not going to go to, you know, wherever restaurant you're going to go, you're going to go, is this, hold on, hold on, no, 4 ounces, no, sorry, I had to take it back. No, you just estimate, you know, your size of your hand, that's about 3 ounces, and then that's what your serving size should be. Your plate should not be this big, unless you're Jeff, but your plate should be smaller, so take the protein, it should be the size of the palm of your hand. Okay, that's a quarter of your plate, the other half, good. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the other quarter. Who knows what the other quarter is? Right. Okay, so we're gonna talk about I'll call them grains, but it's also starch too. The fun thing about grains and starch is that you know, they're mostly everybody thinks about is carbs, and some people, I don't know if you guys heard, but like a lot of people think carbs are bad. They're not. They're great. They're wonderful for your energy. You need them. If you take them out of your diet, yes, you'll lose 10 pounds in a week, but that weight is from water and muscle, not fat. So what we do is we make it a quarter of our plate. And that's a lot less than a lot of people eat in the American diet. Because, you know, you go to an Italian restaurant, what do you eat? You order a plate of pasta, it's this big. It's this big. That's like a lot of servings. So, what was that? Plus the loaf of bread, right? And the butter, and the whole, Okay. The thing with grains is 1 serving of grains is actually a half a cup cooked. I don't have a half a cup here, but cooked. Half a cup cooked. Okay, you have a question? No, I'm getting to your piece. Yeah, half a cup cooked is 1 serving. Now I'm not saying like, oh, you just have that, but here, quarter your plate should be filled with grains, but it shouldn't be overflowing because it adds up. You know, you get 2 cups, you know, that adds up into calories, that adds up into a surplus of energy, and you know, you might not meet your goals. You might be gaining weight, or you might not be losing weight, but it's not because you're eating carbs. Carbs are great, grains are great, whole grains are the best, but it might be because you eat too much. You might be eating too much. You might be overeating. So, okay, let's go real quick on what kind of grains and starch that you guys usually have and where we can go from there. So, go.
Whole wheat couscous.
Whoa! Wow! Forget about pasta. Hold on. Give me like 5 minutes to write this. Whole wheat couscous. Okay. Who knows what a couscous is? You ever hear that commercial? Like, don't be a couch couscous. Don't be a couch potato. Don't be a couch potato. It is. It's actually pasta, but it's little pasta. So if you have whole grain pasta or whole wheat, whole grain couscous, then that's great. That's great.
Whole grain spaghetti's good.
Yep, yeah, whole grain. Anything, listen, for grains and starch, you want to go for whole grain everything. Whole grain pasta, whole grain rice. What else?
Only taco.
Brown rice is actually the same as whole grain rice, so yes, perfect.
Quinoa.
Oh, quinoa is another one. Quinoa is not a wheat. Quinoa is kind of special. Yes. Okay.
Just shout it out, Nicole.
What?
Just shout it out.
Oh,
Okay.
Is
there a difference between whole grain and whole wheat?
No. So wheat is a type of grain. And just like rice, just like quinoa, just like bulgur, just like you'll hear the couscous, it's a grain. But the difference between wheat is a type of grain, so if you get bread, it's usually made from wheat. So that's why you'll always see whole wheat bread. If you get whole grain bread, it's the same thing. Now, the key to finding, let me backtrack. Why do we have whole grains rather than white grains? Rich. Anybody else? What's the main difference between whole grains and white grains? Fiber. And what did we say before that fiber was? The crossing guards of our system, and we need that. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So whole grain pasta, brown rice, bread. Yes. I don't know this guy. Yes. So whole grain, white grains are totally different. They may look the same, they may sort of taste the same, but they are totally different specimens. You want to go for whole grains as much as possible. It has the fiber, which are the crossing guards. It has the healthy fats, which are great for your system. And it also has vitamins, which white grains don't. Do you guys know why white grains are, like, is this good? Are you guys learning?
Yeah.
This is good. I don't know, like, how much you guys are advanced and stuff. So. Right, yeah. So the difference between, well, first of all, why is there so many white grains on the market that we're used to and it's hard to transfer over to whole grains? Like, what's the reason why white grains? Well, okay, well, yeah. It was like it tastes better, right? Right, sir? What else? What else? It tastes better, right? It does. Like, you take white pasta and whole grain pasta, which one are you gonna have? Which one are you gonna smile? Okay, good. So the reason why they do that, I'm gonna go into it probably another day. I don't want to go into the science of it, but whole grain and white grain is when you strip the fiber, when you strip the healthy fat, all you get is a starch. And the starch breaks down the sugar faster, and it actually breaks down the sugar in your mouth faster, which sends a signal to your brain, and it says, oh, I'm happy because I have sugar. So that's in a nutshell why we like white grain. And, yes, and then, that's a whole other mechanism where the sugar says, oh, yeah, more. And, it keeps going in a vicious cycle. So, you want to get the whole grain, and you want to get that as much as possible. And the reason why companies love white grains is because when you take the fiber away from it, and when you take the healthy fats away from it, they last longer. And when they last longer on the shelf, so it's almost like a win-win for them. So that's why you go to the supermarket and you'll see whole grains whole grains are more expensive because they don't last as long, and you know they're not in demand as much. But yeah, you want to go for whole grains as much as possible. They are the fiber enrichers of your body, and they make your wheels turn, and they're great. And then the crossing guards. You don't want to end up in the Lincoln Tunnel, okay? Don't. Did you guys get that? No, okay, alright, good. Okay, so now let's get to your peas. Okay, so we're gonna talk about peas, corn, and potatoes. Guess what? These guys. Can you guys see alright? I know it's like all over the place here, but I'm trying to make it work. Nothing is as good as my chicken legs, right? Them as a starch. You don't want to get too much of them because it adds up. It's still a half a cup. You know, cook just like that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I kind of figured out
Well, now kids have different systems than we do. They need certain nutrients that we don't. But it's a totally different story with them. If you feed them peas and corn, yeah, absolutely good. But for us, in an American diet, you want to move the potatoes, you want to move the corn, you want to move the peas to your starch, to your quarter. Move them in. If you have a little bit of rice and then the rest peas, you're good. If you want it all peas, fine. All just go to town, but just make sure it's a quarter of your plate. What else? Grains.
Definitely a couple times you mentioned diet.
Mm-hmm.
How do other cultures, I don't think they eat in such moderate.
They don't. I can speak for the Italian diet, which my family is from. They don't eat Italian food like we eat Italian food. They like chicken parmesan to them is like, cosa fai? Like, what are you doing? Like, there's cheese everywhere. It's like it makes you fat. Yeah, that's the way they look at chicken parmesan. They don't look at it the way we do. A plate of pasta is like, what are you doing? Like, it's too much. No, they eat in portions. They eat like this. They eat a lot of vegetables. Their protein sizes are actually the sizes of your palm. My best friend, she owns a restaurant down there, and this is what you get in every single restaurant that's gourmet, handmade, like family run. This is your meat. This is your vegetable. Not that much starch. They do a little bit in the morning and then at night, and they eat they eat about 5 times a day. Their main meal is lunchtime. It's different. It's different for us. Like we Americans, we're run differently. The companies, the processing. Like you go to an Italian supermarket, European, there's like 3 aisles that are processed foods, and it's like Nutella and croissants. Yeah, the rest is like you got a whole meat section, and you got the butchers in the back, and you got like the produce and even more produce. There's 3 aisles of processed, and there's like a stigma. Like you get the processed food, and if you buy it, the other ones look at you like, oh yeah, she's Americana. It's different, yeah.
But we also pump a lot of hormones in Europe and stuff like that.
It is, yeah, you're right. It is. It's different. Absolutely.
I mean, to keep it fresh or longer on the shelves and stuff. That's why I think Americans eat faster.
Yeah, because Americans are very, they're money driven. So when they found out that cows get fatter by feeding them grain, meanwhile cows do not digest grain, they get fatter, they get more volume, and they sell more. So it's different. Italians, they're like, or the Europeans, I don't know where you guys are from and stuff, they look at the cows like, we gotta take care of them. We gotta give them the best grass ever. These are our babies. That's another subject. That's like a whole other subject, but there's a reason behind everything. There's a reason when you walk into a supermarket, why are the flowers there first? Why are the cereal on a certain shelf? Why is this position? Everything is marketed toward you, and you have to understand that there's a reason behind everything that you buy. There is absolutely impulse buys. You get the candy, you get the Entenmann's. You don't have a list out, you can grab that. Oh, that's on sale. Oh my gosh, yeah. I gotta just one. Guess what? If you don't buy it, there's a better chance of you not eating it when you get it home. So yeah, make your list. Make your list. Okay, how are we doing on time? Are we good? Yes.
2 questions. First is avocado.
Oh, avocado, the good kind of fat.
Right. Every day, like I know you can't eat, a whole one every single day, whatever, but like.
Yeah, so I got you. Avocado is like the olive oil. Okay? Great, yeah, avocados are wonderful, and since, they've gotten so much publicity from everybody's eating like 3 avocados a day, like, oh, I'm so healthy, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's great, but it adds calories. It adds a lot of calories. Avocados are great, they're the great kind of fat. They move the machine inside you, that's great. 1 serving of avocado is a quarter of an avocado. That is 2 tablespoons, okay, 2 tablespoons. Ooh. So, sorry. It's like the oil.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the avocado? That's the thing, yeah, that's the thing. You can like have a half, and just don't eat a whole avocado a day. Oh, thank you, yeah. A little slippery. I can go half. Does that make sense? The avocado, yeah. Like
she was saying, how do you keep it? Like if you keep the pit in it and then wrap it in saran wrap.
You know what actually preserves it?
Yeah.
You know what actually preserves it? What's actually proven to preserve it better than anything else?
A couple of days after.
Yeah, lime or citrus or lemon juice. Put a little bit on it. I mean, it's not gonna last for like a week. It's not gonna get brown, but even if it's a little brown, you're good to go. You can still eat it. It's gonna be mushy, but whatever. You still eat it.
Mom said when it's brown.
No, it just turns color. It oxidizes, just like a banana. It turns brown. If it's good inside. It oxidizes. It has air around it. It turns colors, just like us. You get older, you get wrinkles. We're still cool. I really love that.
Other examples of grains, like
Yeah.
we do like brown rice. We have.
Give me another one. Do you have any more?
We do quinoa.
We're gonna do more. Okay, quinoa. Okay, who likes quinoa? Okay, who makes quinoa? Yeah? Not quinoa? Okay. Quinoa is a fun one because not only is it a grain, it's also a lean protein. You don't have to count it twice, but it's fun because especially for vegetarians or vegans, it's a lean protein. It's a complete protein. It actually is a protein that's similar to an animal-based protein. You don't have to pair it up with something else to make it a complete protein. It's a complete protein in itself. Quinoa is great, and you can make it kind of like brown rice, the way you make with the spices and you put it next to the chicken, like almost like a brown rice type food, or you can make it kind of like an oatmeal. Did anybody make quinoa oatmeal? You can kind of go both ways. It's like a fun food. I have some recipes actually. I can give you guys for quinoa. Quinoa is great. Okay, so next, what else other grains? Yeah, buckwheat. Buckwheat is actually gluten free. If you have celiacs only. Gluten free is not good for everybody. I know. Do you guys follow the people? Did you hear of friends following gluten free diets? Yeah, no. Huh?
Why isn't it good for saying?
Oh, so gluten is not bad. It's not bad for everybody. There's a fad now, maybe it's dying down that, if you're gluten free, that's great, you'll lose weight, and it's better, and it's not. No, it's only good for people who have celiac disease, who they are allergic to the protein gluten. It's not going to hurt everybody else. You don't bloat. There's some studies and stuff that people are sometimes sensitive to gluten, but think of it, gluten's in wheat, and in white bread, it's in pastries, it's in donuts, and all that stuff that you eat is not from the gluten. It's from everything else inside. So, no, gluten, if you do not have celiac disease, please don't think of gluten as the devil of the world. It's not that bad. Okay, so quinoa, I'm sorry, you said buckwheat? Oh yeah, buckwheat's great. Yeah, absolutely. Bulgur, do you guys like bulgur? Yeah. Bulgur is a whole grain. Now something to look for, and rice. Okay, I did rice. Something to look for, if you look for grains that don't say, if you look for grains that say rice or jasmine rice, or buckwheat, bulgur, wild rice. Wild rice is actually not rice. It's a plant. It's like a water plant. Yeah. If you look for those things, make sure they say whole grain on them. Because that's a big thing. They'll sell you rice cakes, whole grain rice cakes. Well, so if you look at the back of the label and the first ingredient does not say whole grain rice, Or if the first thing, this is a big thing, like if you look at the back of the label of something and the first ingredient does not say whole grain or whole wheat, the key word whole, it is not a whole grain product. It'll say enriched, it'll say fortified, it'll say the miraculous, whatever, it'll say everything. If it doesn't say whole, it's not a whole grain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Whole grain tacos.
Barley, yeah, barley's all. There's whole grain barley. Now barley is usually like, usually a white grain. So you want to look for whole grain. You said whole grain tacos.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you gotta beat Brooke to look for that. Whole grain tacos.
It just changes it up instead
Whole
of like having
grain
rice every day.
tortillas.
You want tacos?
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
They make whole grain.
You want to go for whole grain as much as possible. Remember, I'm just gonna put this whole tortillas. Okay. Look for that as much as possible. You guys have a goal. You're all here, so you all have a goal. This is the first step, is being here to learn about this. And you have to put it in place by doing this. Add vegetables. And we're not going to go into the fruits. You guys understand the fruits. You can mainly do the fruits for snacks. And, it still has to take up half your plate. So just eat your fruit. Fruit is great.
Even bananas.
Bananas. Yeah, bananas are great. The thing with bananas is it's starchy. So if you take a serving of a half a banana is called a serving. It's like the sweet potato of fruits. Bananas really have a ton of potassium. They have fiber in it and everything. But the only thing is, you can't really eat too much of a banana. What was that? It's just so if you have a whole apple or a whole orange or a whole peach, that's one serving of a fruit. If you take a banana, you take a half a banana, that's one serving of a fruit. So yeah, it's just something else. Bananas are great, yes. Yeah, so yogurt is a fun one. Yeah, yogurt I usually suggest as snacks. Yogurt is considered protein. I would consider it dairy as well. But yeah, definitely if you have yogurt and fruit. Oh, here's another thing. Who gets like yogurt with like the fruit infused and like, come on. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, Chobani, they have the coconut, they have the flip switch thing. Okay. The thing with fruit yogurt, it doesn't have fruit in it really. It has sugar flavoring with like red. And you ever see it swirl? What is that syrup that goes around the yogurt? What is that? What's it made out of? Yeah. Okay, so my suggestion is getting the yogurt that's non-fat or low-fat, plain regular yogurt, and adding your own fruit to it, because you know where the fruit's coming from. You don't have to worry about the extra sugar, without the fiber or the high fructose corn syrup or anything like that. What else is there? And Greek yogurt is a great protein. Actually, Greek yogurt and regular yogurt are great. Greek has a little bit more protein, has a little more consistency, but still stick with the non-fat, low-fat, plain, not the sugary stuff, not the the fancy things or anything like that. Stick with that and you'll be fine. The serving size, I would say for a snack, like now, the serving size for everybody is different. You take a man, 5,000 calories, you take a woman, 1,500, it's like a little bit different. So, but I would say, if you take the little cups even, they're like 1 cup, but a serving of yogurt is actually 2/3 of a cup. If you get like 1 or 2 a day, you're fine. As your snack, you're fine, absolutely. Just keep it low fat. What else can we talk about here? Okay, so, and then oats. Oats is another one for the grains. And you know what? Your sweet potato that is high in, which is good for business. Yes. It's great for your starch. So guess what? Like you go to the store and you get these ginormous size of your head sweet potatoes. That's not going to fill a quarter of your plate. What do you got to do? Yeah. Yeah. Or you can cut it in strips and you can bake it, you can roast it, like do whatever you want. It's got to be quarter of your plate, not half your plate with a big potato falling to the side. No. That's all you got to do with it. So those are your grains. What else? Any questions so far? So yeah, nuts are proteins. Now those types of foods like yogurt, Like fruits, I would say keep it to the snacks. And the same thing with nuts is the same thing as olive oil and avocado. So nuts are great. They have a lot of fiber, they have protein, and they have healthy fats. But the thing is, if you eat too many, it's gonna have a lot. Like if you have 1 cup of cashews or 1 cup of almonds, it's like 600 calories. So yeah, you want to eat them, especially as a snack. Put them in your yogurt, sprinkle them, have like a few. I believe in the handouts there is a serving size sheet. And Cooper, you touched on this last time. Like the cup, if you cup your hand like this, and you put the nuts in it, that is 1 serving. That's like an ounce. So that's your serving, not a whole planter's nuts. Let me eat the whole, the whole thing like chug it down my throat. No, like that's not a serving. So yeah, the same thing with nuts is the same thing with olive oils and avocados and things like that. What else? Any questions before we go on to beverages and what's the other thing? Drinks. No, beverages and condiments. Yeah. I love stupid questions. I guess we can answer. Okay, too many spices? No. If you're not adding spices that have salt in them, no, absolutely. Like put as many spices as you want. Who here has a crock pot? Okay, we just got a crock pot maybe like a month ago. It took me a while till I figured out. I put the spices and I was like, oh, this tastes like there's no flavor. And then we put more, and it got better, which is fine. The thing with spices is you don't want to buy like the pre-made spices because they do have a lot of salt in it. They have preservatives in it. Like who knows like what happens to your stomach, with that. So you want to go from actually like getting the original spices, like getting them on your own, like all the different types of spices and putting them on. There's no such thing as putting more. Like there's no really upper level toxicity, but maybe you might have heartburn. That might happen, maybe you put it like at a time. I also included a handout, which is a good question because the next handout was how to spice up your food without salt. So it's like, hopefully it's helpful. For like, you could put like with herbs too, basil, oregano. Who has their own garden? Anybody have their own garden? No? Really? People in Brooklyn have more gardens than you guys. Okay, so yeah, so you can use these things. Spices are great to cook with. We're gonna go into the condiments real quick. You guys okay on time? Like, I don't know what time it is. So no, when you get the pre-made spices, like when you go to like McCormick and stuff like that, it has a lot of salt in them, or like different ones that you'll see the back. The first ingredient is salt. Is not really like the best thing to put as long as like your guys are moving to a healthier lifestyle, you don't have to worry about that too much. But try different spices.
Away from the spice mixture.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Now, you go to the guidelines is you don't want to surpass a certain amount of salt, which is a teaspoon a day. But if you're going from a person who has preservatives, processed foods all the time, you're going to save a lot of sodium. You don't want that much sodium. So if you're going to whole grains and fruits and things like that, then you're fine. But yeah, use different spices. And if you have a salt tooth, like if you really like salt, add some lemon juice to something or some vinegar because those taste buds are very close to your salty taste buds and it kind of tricks them. So do that. Okay, next. You have anything to say? Yeah. How are you doing? Good?
I have a question on spices.
Yes.
Talking about it. What about things like nutritional yeast?
I just find that.
I mean, my coworker has it. She sprinkles it on her food all the time.
It just doesn't sound right. What's the ingredient? I gotta see the ingredient.
Hold on. It's sourced from whey backstrap molasses.
I don't like it. No. Spice. Just spice. Very plain, simple spice.
Okay.
No, very simple, guys. Guys, make it simple. Simple. Get all your spices. Be creative. Be like Jeff in the kitchen, just throwing everything all together. Make your own recipes. It's fun.
Get very creative with it.
Turn on the music.
Yeah. The messier your kitchen is, the more enjoyable you have. Our kitchen gets
very messy.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Then you still don't know.
Alright, so next, so let's talk about condiments then. Okay, so spices, right? Should I write it? Yeah, let me do this. Okay, so spices is a good condiment, right? Okay. You know what else is? Mustard, yeah, I didn't even write that down. Yeah, mustard. You know, let's talk about the ones that aren't that great.
Ketchup.
So, ketchup, right. Ketchup. Who likes barbecue sauce? Okay, barbecue sauce. Yeah, no, sorry. Barbecue sauce. The reason why barbecue sauce and ketchup is not the best condiment, you see this? Every tablespoon of ketchup has 1 teaspoon of sugar in it. Okay, so yeah, measure that out. It's pretty much the same almost. So you don't want that. And same thing with barbecue sauce. Think about the consistency. When you take barbecue sauce and you pour it, what does it look like? Molasses? It's because it is. Yeah, make your own stuff. Barbecue sauce. Dressings, if you take ranch dressing, oh yeah, I'm having a salad today, I'm eating so healthy, and then you pour the Thousand Island dressing all over it, you just negated everything. Because it has a ton of fat, a ton of salt, and a ton of sugar. So, dressings, sorry, no good. What is good is balsamic vinegar. Who likes balsamic? Yeah? Yeah, vinegar. Vinegar's great, yes, absolutely. And you know what else is good with that? Oil. But not a whole tub. Like, remember what we said about oil? Okay, good. What else? Anybody? Mayo. Who likes mayo? Okay. Mayo. Okay, mayo is a no-no. Sorry, but mayo has a lot of fat in it, a lot of saturated fat. It's not the ideal condiment for everything. So you want to kind of like reduce your mayo intake because you don't want to add on calories that are not necessary, and you want to have the most bang for your buck in nutrients, and mayo does not have that. Yes? Like salad-free? So, no, I would say, yeah, Greek yogurt. Okay, that was the next step. Yeah, sour cream. So you're gonna look at the labels a little bit. Sour cream does have a fat content, it has a saturated fat content, and so does mayo. But what does it, which is similar, is Greek yogurt. And I actually, you guys have tacos and quesadillas and stuff. You usually have like the sour cream on the side. I put Greek yogurt and avocado and mash that up. It's the same thing. It tastes the same, like it does. You put some lime and you're good to go. So my answer is go with Greek yogurt as the best, but also compare the label, to see what the saturated fat content is, and kind of go from there, yeah. Because condiments will add on a ton of calories, they will add on a ton of sugar, they're gonna go against your goals, and believe it or not, condiments actually make or break your meal.
You said hot sauce?
Oh, hot sauce, yeah, no, hot sauce is fine. It's like, yeah, it does have sodium in it, but like as long as you're not pouring the entire bottle, you're fine. Hot sauce is great, yeah. Soy sauce, okay, you want to go for the low sodium soy sauce. Low sodium, so let's do low sodium here. Okay. What else do we got here? What about honey? Okay, honey is actually the same thing as sugar. Raw sugar, no, I want to say it's scientifically it's a tiny bit better, but you won't get that benefit until you have a pound or like a lot of it compared to a pound. Honey is honey. Molasses is sugar. Brown sugar, raw sugar, brown sugar, it's all the same. Yes, definitely keep in mind. And the same thing with salt. Oh, organic salt. No, it's salt, like Himalayan salt, sea salt, like pink salt, California salt. No, it's all salt and it's all sugar. If it's a sugar, it's all sugar. And there's a lot of things to look at, especially if you're getting processed foods that have a lot of sugar in it, but it's disguised as as another word. If you take the word ose, like maltose, or fructose, that's all like sugar kind words you want to stay away from. But the main concern is stay away from the processed foods first, and then maybe one day we'll talk about food later. Okay, next. What else? Who likes butter? We did. Is it going? Which category is it going in? Okay, yes. Guys, condiments make or break it. Honestly, they really do. So the thing to look for when you prepare your meal, these are really important. Condiments are very important because they add up. And the way you prep something is the way you're going to feel afterwards. So if you prep all your stuff with spices and herbs and even mustard or balsamic or like, lemon juice, like things that are not in bottles and they don't have labels, then you're good to go. You're getting like more bang for your buck. You're getting more nutrients for less calories, and that's what you want to do. It's like your calories are your energy storage. It's like if somebody handed you $100, would you spend it on a house or would you spend it on a marker? A house, right? Because you're getting more for your buck. You want more nutrients for the amount of calories that you spend. It's like your money, you spend your money on something good. Okay, next. What else? Beverages? Wait, do you guys have any questions on this? Is this good? Is everybody learning something? This? Okay.
I have a question. I'm a sugar addict, so I cut sugar out, but I do have honey.
Okay.
In my breakfast oatmeal, I put honey oats,
Mhm.
and I put honey. So
It's sugar. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a thing, like people are addicted to sugar. It's very similar in studies that it's proven to be very similar to cocaine. It's an addictive, it's an addictive substance, and people do have problems with it. A lot of people say like, oh, well, you just don't eat the donut. Well, it's different for people. If you're addicted to it, you're addicted to it. And if you want to cut down, but you do have to know that honey is the same exact thing. Yeah, so just keep it in mind. Yeah. Good luck. Thanks.
one of the things you egg whites, I have to say egg whites.
Egg whites and egg. Okay, so there's a debate on it. Who's on the egg side and who's on the egg white side? So who's on the egg side? Egg. Oh, who's on the egg white side? Who's both? Who's the egg white? Okay, so eggs are great for you. They are wonderful. All the entire egg is wonderful for you. It really is. However, if the inside of an egg has so many nutrients that it actually is, it makes an unliving substance become a living substance. That's how many nutrients it has. But that egg yolk has a lot of saturated fat. So it is a good amount of saturated fat. So now what I say is, eat your eggs, absolutely, but don't eat 6 a day. Don't eat Gaston. So you got that joke, right? You got it, yeah. Disney, yeah. So no, absolutely eat the whole egg. But yeah, the fat content, the saturated fat content will add on calories, and it will increase your risk for cardiovascular disease if you have 6 or 12 a day. No, if you have 2 a day, that's fine. 3, maybe that's a little much. No, 1 or 2 a day. Guess what? Have an egg, have 4 egg whites with it. It tastes the same. That's perfect. That's fine. You get a lot of protein. You get a lot of nutrients. It's good for your hair. It's good for your nails. Ladies, and it's good. It has biotin in it. It's really good stuff. Eggs are great. But just, if you want to take out saturated fat content from your diet, don't do it from the egg. Do it from the mayo. Do it from the butter. Do it from the steaks. Do it from the brown burger. Do it from something else. Do it from the cheeseburgers. The cheese. We didn't even talk about cheese. Oh, okay. Anybody have questions? So cheese, yeah, that's the thing with cheese. If you look on this little ditto that we put together, very nicely. 1 thumb is a serving of cheese. Who eats a thumb of cheese? Who does that? No, you sprinkle that all over the place, right? If you're gonna eat cheese, don't go for the Kraft singles, the preservatives, no. Go for the real, go to an Italian deli, the good stuff that the guy hands you a sample of, okay? And have a very little piece. You don't have to take cheese out of your diet, totally. But through your meal prep, yeah, you do. You don't want to have it every day. But as a special occasion, Easter, Christmas, have it. Don't have a whole bunch, have a little bit. But yeah, meal prep to reach your goals, do not have cheese every day. No. Bacon, egg, and cheese, get that out of the way. No. Bacon, we didn't even talk about bacon. No, get that out because that is processed. We don't want any processed, no processed salami, all that stuff. No, you need to get that out. You really do because it's high in saturated fat, it's high in preservatives, it's high in salt. It's not good. So stay with the basics. And that's that's my take on cheating. What else? Do you have anything to say? I'm like talking so
You're
much.
going ham right now.
Ham?
I want to talk about.
Ham's not good either. No.
I just want to talk about patience with everybody. And with this whole process of learning and meal prepping, you have to give it time. Right? It takes time for your body to adapt. It takes time for your body to lose fat. It takes time for your body to adjust. Right? So a lot of people can be impatient and patient. Okay? So work on it. Be interested in it. Keep trying new things. You have a ton of information here now.
Not
Try
enough.
different new things. And some of you guys are. You know, which is great. Be interested in it. That's how you really see the difference. And once you're interested in it, you invest in it, and you're investing in yourself, which is the biggest thing. Give it time. It takes time. It's not a week. It's going to be, oh, I'm down 40 pounds. It's not 2 weeks. It takes time. Patience. Okay? That's the biggest thing. I hope everybody understands that part. Okay? Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Beverages? Anyone want to talk about beverages? So much food in this world. So little time. Beverages, water, tea, coffee, seltzer. Wine. Oh, that's a good one. I was hoping someone didn't ask that, but who wants to know about alcohol? I'll save it for another day. You guys don't need it. Yeah, okay, all right. All right. So, studies actually show, this is the real deal, is that for a woman, 1 glass of alcohol per day, and for men, 2 glasses of alcohol per day is actually very beneficial, more beneficial than 0 glasses, and more beneficial than 2 or more glasses. However, I'm not saying, oh yeah, let's go, no, everybody like, no. If you have a goal, if you're coming here, if you're training for something, if you have a competition coming up, or if you have a certain endurance race, guess what? Remember when I told you little men in your body, there's like wheels all over the place? You throw a binge night of partying in it, that's going to stop the wheels. They're going to stop the wheels, and it's going to stop the momentum of the little guys going. So, yeah, alcohol, if like in moderation, is actually proven to have cardiovascular benefits. But if you're training for something, if you have a goal, you guys are all here on a goal, okay? You're here to motivate yourself to make a lifestyle change. And if you really want to stick to it, then make sure you're not going out every Friday night and saying, oh yeah, party, drink, shot. Guess what? Your little men inside you are going to be fucking pissed. They're going to be mad. They're going to be mad because their wheels are going to stop. So I'm sorry for the... Sorry. I tried. It's true. Be nice to your little men. Like, they work hard for you every day. Your body is a machine. Like, all these little guys are working very hard for you. So if you feed them the right fuel, the right nutrients, they are so happy. They are so happy. And they're going to make you feel great. Because everything that you eat today, everything that you eat, drink, do today will affect you tomorrow. I'm not saying maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but it will, I guarantee you, it will affect you later on in life. It will affect you tomorrow. So treat your body right, treat your little men right, be nice to them because they love you. Yes. Water. Okay.
I drink a lot of water.
You can't drink a lot of water. Why is that?
I have to force myself.
You have to force it. What to you is a lot of water? What to you is a lot of water? What can't you drink?
I drink about 3 bottles.
Guess what? That's fine for you. Yes. Yeah. People think that you have to have like 2 gallons of water a day. Everything you eat has water in it, so it actually adds up. So a person of like your stature, like it's fine. Like you. Okay, I don't want to get graphic here, but yeah, if you go to the bathroom and your urine is not clear and it's dark yellow, you're dehydrated. Get more water. Or if you really want to go into it, if your number 2 does not sink, you need more water. That's all you need to know. Because that's true. Like I talk about this every day. I talk about this every day. I talk about like what it looks like everything. Like do not be scared to tell me anything about that because I'm ready. Okay, no, water is fine. Drink it, especially when you're working out because it does help your little men turn the wheels. But don't force yourself. No, if you're thin, like what I mean, then you don't have to force yourself a gallon a day. You just don't. There's like a calculation to it too. But yeah, eat more fruits and vegetables. That has water in it. Yeah, cucumbers are like 70% water. So we're like cucumbers.
Speaking of poop, actually.
I was like, let's go. Yes, I'm ready.
Mixed with water, I sometimes get like little sugar-free additives. I feel like that makes me like want to drink more.
Why'd you go?
Like 5 calories. I don't know the.
Yeah.
Ingredients on the top.
Okay, so he asked about like a Crystal Light kind of method. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have the Crystal Light method, just to put a little flavor in your water, it's too bland for you. Yeah, that's fine. It's not going to add calories, but you have to understand that what's going in it. Is it a sugar? Is it going to add calories, or is it artificial sugar? What do we know about artificial sugars? Nothing. No, we do know that artificial sugars don't get digested, so they sit in your gut, and it could possibly block the happy vitamins and nutrients from getting through your system. And another factor is that it retains even more water, so it makes you go to the bathroom even more. So even if you're drinking that glass of Crystal Light, you're peeing it out, so you need more water to recycle everything. So yeah, artificial sugar are a touchy subject. There's not enough evidence for it, but it's just something to think about, in your mind. Yeah.
Are those like juices that diet or light?
Another thing. So if it says diet and it doesn't have sugar on it, same thing. Same thing as what Mike said. The Crystal Light, like if you have the artificial sugars, we don't know what happens. We know it's better for a diabetic because it doesn't spike the blood sugar. It's better for them. But another thing is, most of the time, what I've seen is people actually have almost like diarrhea from having artificial sugars because it sits in your gut, it doesn't get digested, and what it does do, it has an osmotic pressure, which is a fun subject. It retains water from all your muscles and from everything, and it actually says, okay, time to go, and you get dehydrated. So it's just something to think about. Do you really want juice? Don't go for juice. No. Do not get juice. Make your own juice. Make it.
Another negative with the artificial sugars is that there are studies that show that they make the body crave more sugar,
right.
And people that use artificial sugar end up gaining more weight.
Right.
Save them.
Yes. Did everybody hear him? Yes. So if you do have artificial sugars, there is a mechanism that it makes your brain think that it's getting sugar. Remember when we were talking about the addictiveness? That it makes your brain think that it's getting sugar, but it's not. So it actually makes you crave the sugar even more. So, you gotta kind of play with what you have. You gotta make the best of what's around. And if you really want this goal, right? If you really want this goal, you gotta make a change. And it doesn't have to be all the changes at once. It doesn't have to be, everything or I fail. No, it's make the main change through your everyday life and then go from there. When you eat out, yeah, if everybody's having pizza, what are you gonna be like? Oh, I'm gonna have a cucumber, you gotta feel weird. But if every day you're having this, that slice of pizza is not gonna matter down the road. But you're here for a goal, so you have to understand that this is what you need to incorporate your life around. Yes.
Just to go back to measuring. Measure raw meat. Cooked meat.
Wow, this is
because when I did my prep, I had pieces of chicken, and then of course when you cook it, it gets even smaller. So
right. So it gets smaller. But it does change in weight. It depends on how your meal prep. It really doesn't make a difference, honestly. If you get 3 ounces of chicken, it's gonna be 2.96 ounces, cooked. So it's not gonna make that difference. Yeah, it gets smaller. I don't want to get into much of with measurements at this stage yet, but if you make sure that it's a quarter of your plate, you're okay. Yeah, because it depends on how it's set up for you. But that 0.4 or 0.5 ounces is not gonna. I'm sorry, 0.05 is it's not gonna make too much of a difference. But yeah, it just loses water.
Okay,
Yeah, so
what
you
about
could,
something on pasta? I do pasta just for myself and instead of going for my family.
right.
So there's time where I don't know if I'm measuring the dry
So you
stuff.
weigh it? You weigh it or do you do the cups?
I've been doing cups,
So
but then
do
I have way
cups.
too much and then I just save it for another dinner.
Oh, I
don't
see.
eat it.
Cups
that's
cooked.
nice.
If you do it in cups, all the grains, anything if you're doing measurements, if you're at that stage, then your cups are gonna be cooked. So yeah, because if you take pasta dry, you know, it's like, you know, all over the place. Yeah, the answer is definitely cooked. Yes.
Going back to beverages,
Uh-huh.
what's your take on coconut water and the almond milks and the soy milks and all that
Okay.
crap?
Wait, what's your take on it? So the first question was coconut water. The coconut water is a great source of potassium if your electrolytes are imbalanced. The thing with coconut water is it has sugar added to it a lot of the time. A lot of the time you go to you're gonna see the label. You have to look at the label. If it does have sugar in it, like sometimes it doesn't have sugar in it, but it's a good source of potassium. Do I say like it's better than water? You know, it does have that, but it's not like, oh, this is a superfood. I'm gonna like, you know what I mean? Like no. And a lot of the times, especially almond milks, coconut milks, oh, those are all better alternatives. Guess what? They have a ton of sugar in them. And if you drink the unsweetened version, what does it taste like? Yeah, drink milk, like drink low-fat skim milk plus, like you're fine. You don't have to have that. But you know, if you're lactose intolerant, go for that stuff. But just don't look. We could do this another time, but the labels. Just keep in mind that these companies will try to sell you on anything that's on the label. Never, you know how people say like don't judge a book by its cover? Same thing with food. Do not judge a food by what it says on the label. It says almond milk, healthier for you. Oh, it makes you grow. Good source of this. Turn it over. How much sugar does that bad boy say? And then you gotta like ask the questions into yourself. Coconut water, coconut milk. How much sugar is in it? Oh, really? 29 grams a cup? Well, no, you're going back down. So you just have to look at it. Like a lot of these healthy alternatives, I'm not exactly the healthy alternatives. Stick with the basics. Stick with the basics. Unless you have a problem, lactose intolerance, if you have celiac disease, if you have like an imbalance of labs or anything like that, then yeah, talk it out. But it's not necessary. It's not. But yeah, coconut water is fine as long as it doesn't have a lot of sodium or sugar in it. If you like it, yeah. But if you're just drinking it to drink it and you don't like it. Anybody else? Any other questions? Right. Another thing, yeah, you can make that the almond milk. Like if you like almond milk better than regular milk, yeah, just know that it doesn't have as much protein. It's not a complete protein. It's unsweetened. Does it really like? Is it more bang for your buck? You know what I mean? Like you gotta think about that. And some people are lactose intolerant, so it's beneficial. But yeah, if you get the almond milk and you make a smoothie, go for the unsweetened because they will pack those bad boys with a lot of sugar. Guys, I'll like, you know, if you guys have individual questions, like I'll be here until he is, so, you know, you don't have to steal anything. Any like general questions or good? Yes, Heather.
So you said that coffee is good. What about putting things in our coffee?
No. So yeah, when I say yes or no, I'm just giving a simple answer. I'm not saying like omit everything from your diet in your life. I'm just saying yes or no. Which way should you go? Coffee, black coffee is great. It's actually helped to treat. It's said to treat diabetes. You know, it gives you a little kick, a little caffeine kick. You know, it gets you going through the day. Gets your wheels turning, which is great. If you add sugar to it, if you add milk, if you go to Starbucks for the frappa, whoopa, whatever it is, it's gonna pack on a ton of calories. The chai tea latte, oh yeah, chai, oh, it's such a great tea. That thing has like 77 grams of sugar. You divide that by 4, that's how many teaspoons? What is that, like 20? I don't even know, I can't even do math. Yeah, so yeah, you gotta look at these things. You know, if you want coffee, know what's in it. Like, you know, put the milk in yourself, put the sugar in yourself. But black coffee is the way to go. It's totally fine. Coffee's great for you. I don't think you should have 20 cups a day if you have a heart condition, but you know, it's good. It's all in moderation. And definitely check out those frappa, what you call it, next time you pumpkin spice things. It's gonna be a lot. So yeah, tea too. Tea's the same. Tea's great. Yeah, like just don't add a lot of milk and sugar and crap, and you know, don't get the chai tea latte, you know, and you're fine. Like make your own tea, put some lemon juice in it. I'm like the only one in the world that has green tea and lemon all the time. No? I like it.
Like, Splenda or
So yeah, so those things again, like the artificial sweeteners, we don't really know what happens to them. What we know is that it's better for blood sugar levels in diabetics. We do know that they sit in your gut because it's not digested. So that's a question. It's a question for me. Like, if it sits in your gut, what is it doing it there? Like, what is it blocking? Like, what nutrients from all this great stuff that is blocking from them to get in? You know, like, I don't know what's going on with that. And it also retains water. Like, it brings a whole water load and it makes it go to the bathroom, and that's proven. So, artificial sweeteners, like, if you do it, you do your thing. It's not going to pack on calories. I just don't have enough evidence based on scientific research to give you a full-on, full-blown yes or no answer.
I guess
No, nothing's going to kill you in moderation. That's the thing. Nothing's going to kill you in moderation. But the thing is, we're so used to having so much cheese and so much processed stuff that it is going to kill us. We're a society, America's a society where we spend 30% of medical spending on obesity, chronic heart disease, and diabetes. That's everything that can be prevented. That's a lot of money. So when everybody's wondering why our premiums are getting jacked up, it's not because of the carriers, it's because of us. Sorry. Nancy couldn't tell you that. She's the broker in the house. Anybody else? Like, seriously, I could do individual questions. It's like almost 9 o'clock. I'm sorry. Did you learn anything? Like, is this good? So I included a little recipe for you. So here. So you go home, you figure out a day to meal prep. You make your list. You shop for your list. Don't go to the Entenmann's. Don't get swayed by the soda. Don't say, oh yeah, look at that, isn't it? No. Stick to your list and get the ingredients that you need to get in order to make your beautiful plate. Go home, cook it, use your spices, get crazy, put on the music, move around. Like, you're gonna have a great time. It really is fun. You just gotta make it fun. It's up to you. Go, post your pictures. Like, please. Like, I love getting recipes from people. I love hearing the different types of things that you guys do. Like, I love that. It inspires me. And these guys do as well. Like, please, like, cook for everybody. It's even better when everybody knows it. Measure it out. You make all your stuff. You make your plates. Get your plates. Put your vegetables on it. Put your fruits on it. But move it to the side unless you want to have your fruits with your plate. You can absolutely do that. It all goes in one place. Who cares? Do your lean protein as a quarter. Do your grains as another quarter. Boom. You got your meal. There's your lunch. You got your dinner. You can bring out your dinner. Like, that's fine. The next step is to store it. Put it in the fridge. This stuff, generally, good stuff, good food. If you look at proteins, it's going to last about 3 to 4 days. Fish, maybe a little bit less. But 3 to 4 days in your fridge, it's okay. Do you have a question? Oh, no, I got a question. Yes.
If you're making like a salad,
Yeah.
like tons of chicken and protein in it,
No, like that. Well, if you only have a salad every day, every meal of the day, and no starch, you need that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like, okay, for lunch, you can have a salad and chicken and just vegetables. Just make sure at some point during your day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or your snacks, that you're getting some sort of grain or some sort of fruit. I just don't want people to go home and say, oh yeah, like I'm not taking out, I'm taking out carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are great. They're for your energy, and if you do take out carbohydrates, guess what? You step on the scale like, oh, I lost 7 pounds in one night. Oh my God! It's water and it's your muscles. Like, that's where the weight is coming from. Yeah, absolutely. But you can do that. Yeah, just mix and match. I'm just giving you the basics of what your plate should look like. You can mix and match. Like, put your stuff. Like, put more of your stuff on at night. Put more of your stuff in the morning. Like, whatever you want. I included a little recipe for breakfast. It's a bulk recipe, like it's like a little egg bake. You can make it and you can put it in your fridge for the next 2 or 3 days. It's good. You know, like you slice it up, it's a little egg bake. You can even put it in little muffin tins, and you're good to go. You can make it like fancy. I just felt like giving it to you.
So you're saying 3 to 4 days, like if you prep on Sunday.
So if you prep on
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like the stuff that's gonna go bad is the protein. So you just want to watch. You don't want to wait like a whole entire week to have it. You know what I mean? Like have it go bad. So yeah, you might have to like improvise a little bit on Fridays. Tell She said tell Adam.
I go 7 days.
Hey,
I've been dying.
I take that chance too. Hey, listen, I take that chance too. Absolutely. My grandma, Nana, she leaves that shit in for like 13 days. She's like, it's good. Yeah, put it in the fritada. Yeah.
I never got sick. I think she's erring on the side of caution, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
I'm liable to tell you that, yeah, like, generally, 3 to 4 days, you just don't want it to unless you're us. You're willing to take that chance of getting no, it is true.
Don't
Yeah,
use
you can freeze
microwave.
it, yeah, you can freeze it. Okay, let's see.
All little packages.
Yeah, no, freeze that stuff. Absolutely.
Oh, there's nothing in there. Oh, I'll take that chance.
That was great now.
There's like an Eric fork somewhere.
I put out
So we just started meal prepping 2 weeks ago. Oh, good. It's the best thing ever. Yeah, it saves so much time and energy and effort. Besides getting us at the end of the day, and I don't know if it's in the gym almost every day. And so it makes it easier. So Sundays we go shopping together. Yeah, all I do. It's one thing that changed like everything. And the kids too, 7 days a week, like everyone always thinks that good Monday through Friday. I did it the whole week, but like 7 days a week, and the kids too. They do their ice push ups and they sometimes have to do my food, but I can tell you. It's easy that way. And they don't like to, I can do it every day. They like their, we've been eating Sunday. Thanks for coming. Monday, they have Tuesday, they have tacos.